Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 10th Annual Full Sail University Hall of Fame ceremony.
What a moment, what a morning, what a time to pause and just look at all that your hard work and your dedication to our students has allowed us to become.
When you get recognized by the school that sort of made you, I almost cried because you're standing there and you sort of don't think this is actually happening to you, and then you sort of realize how far you've come.
This is the coolest club of people I didn't even know I was working towards trying to get into.
For a lot of us, this is like Christmas. We compare this week to Christmas. It's Christmas not because we get things, it's because what we come to give.
And I wanted to just say to all of the Full Sail students, every single one of you are unique. Every single one of you have a voice. Every single one of you have a vision, and I'm extremely excited to see that.
Please dream big. Do what you love. You are destined to be successful if you do that.
There's something amazing about this place.
I was not prepared for the overwhelming amount of love.
They have become my friends, my family, my brothers.
Full Sail always made it about acceptance and a family.
I came to Full Sail for confidence, and what I walked away with was a family.
Now, how many places would you find that?
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Full Sail University's 2018 Hall of Fame inductees. He's a senior UI programmer at ADDY Software, where he's helped develop groundbreaking games like Doom VR, Dishonored 2, and the upcoming Doom Eternal. 2006 game development graduate, Kari Allen. He's a creative director for AMB Sports and Entertainment, including the Atlanta Falcons and the 2018 MLS Cup champion Atlanta United FC. 1999 digital media graduate, Michael Benford. He's a live touring video director working with some of the top artists in the world, including Sir Paul McCartney, Brad Paisley, and Blake Shelton. 1997 recording arts graduate, Brian Caraco. He's the vice president and chief genre-defining games like Diablo and League of Legends. 2004 computer animation graduate, Pete Cooper. He's a Grammy Award-winning producer, composer, and mix engineer, working with superstars like Justin Bieber, Rihanna, and Jennifer Lopez. 2006 recording arts graduate, Josh Goodwin. She's a product design manager for Capital One, where she's been instrumental in the design and evolution of the company's CreditWise app. 2009 graduate of graphic design and 2010 graduate of digital arts and design, Margaret Hague.
Please welcome to the stage one of tonight's hosts for the ceremony, Full Sail University President, Gary Jones.
Great job, buddies. Awesome musicians. Give it up one more time, guys. Fantastic open. Fantastic. Thank you. Woohoo! Very awesome. Oh my goodness, you look pretty tonight. Thank you. Oh, thank you very much. So great to be together tonight, isn't it? The 10th Annual Hall of Fame. Come on. Where does the time go? Tonight makes 60 members of this elite club of soulful, dedicated, precious people that turn the page every year, and every week they come back, and every month they appear to teach and give back. And we celebrate 6 new members into that club tonight. What an amazing thing. 2009 was the first Hall of Fame here at Full Sail. And I'm going to tell you a quick story about why and how. A couple of years before that, a guy named Ken Goldstone kept rumbling around with this idea that we needed a way to formally celebrate and memorialize and put forward to ourselves and the general public what this thing that our graduates do, this thing called giving back. How can we put that forward in a more overt way? And he came up with the idea of we need a Hall of Fame, said Ken. And so, by golly, here we are 10 years later with our 10th, and each year it gets bigger and better and sweeter and richer and just an amazing, amazing thing. Ken, are you in this room? Is he here? Kenny, would you stand up, brother, just for a moment? Ken Goldstone, ladies and gentlemen. Ken Goldstone. Thank you, brother. Now, I have one other Kenny story. Kenny graduated in 1993, and he said, Gary, I would like to intern with you. And I said, great. You seem like a nice guy. Kidding. I knew him already. I welcome the opportunity. So for the next 3 months, I taught Ken everything I know about this world of Full Sail. And for the next 25 years, he has mentored me. Six new inductees tonight. You saw them on the screen, yes? Phenomenal. Phenomenal. You'll know more about them soon. Let's talk just for a minute about the 40th anniversary. Hello, people, 40 years old this year, Full Sail University. 40 years old. I'm still 28. I do not know how that happened, but by golly, it's been an amazing adventure. Almost 70,000 graduates. The first class was 13 students. We have over 16,000 full-time degree-seeking students today. The first staff was 3 or 4 of us. Today we have over 2,000 faculty and staff members that humble me weekly about the things they do with and for our students and our graduates that doesn't appear on any job description. It's an amazing crew. With all that growth in the campus and the labs and 115 studios and sound stages and computer labs and all of that, one thing has remained constant in the midst of all that growth. Every day we come to, some people call it work, I say every day we come to live with our students and our graduates to partner with them in their dreams and their choices of careers in entertainment and media production and emerging technologies. And ladies and gentlemen, that slogan that John came up with all those years ago, if you're serious about your dreams, we will take your dreams seriously. It is alive and well at Full Sail University today, and if I didn't already know it in my heart, I've witnessed it all week long in watching our superstar Hall of Fame members and over 200 graduates that came home to give back to our students today. The dreams are alive and well, ladies and gentlemen, alive and well 40 years later. Good stuff. Now, well, certainly, There's a lot of really capable leaders around this place called Full Sail. I'm looking in some of the eyes of many of them in this audience right here. There are 3 that stand in the gap to help us take our dreams as a leadership team and bring them to fulfillment. John Phelps, Ed Haddock, Bill Hebner, would you please stand for a moment? The co-chairmen, the co-CEOs of Full Sail University. There you are. These guys, it's hard to scare these guys, ladies and gentlemen. We come up with new lab ideas, with esports arenas, with new degree programs that we think are right, and these guys stand with us and help put forward the mission of serving our students and our graduates in different and better ways next year than we did before. They've always been there to back us in the growth and the expansion and the good things we can do differently, better, and in addition to what we're doing this moment in this day. So gentlemen, on behalf of all of us, the faculty, the staff, the students, and the graduates, thank you for believing in the dreams of all of our fabulous students and grads, and your staff and faculty. You guys are awesome. I mentioned expansion and new facilities, did I not? Yes, I did. Tonight, there are 2 bodies of you good-looking people. One is right here in front of me, and across the campus in the Fortress, our brand new esports arena, the largest esports collegiate arena in the United States. There's another body of people, and the inimitable Dr. David Franco is there, co-hosting with me tonight with his group. Would you please say hello to Dr. David Franco, the Vice President of Academic Affairs at Full Sail University.
Woo-hoo! Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone over there. Hi, Gary. Thank you, thank you. Welcome to the home team of Armada here, the Fortress. We are so glad to be here with you all as one. Thank you. A little bit of applause, please. Let's hear it over there.
Holy cats, David. Who dressed you tonight?
I didn't know we'd be wearing the same outfit, Gary. I guess I have okay taste. Is that okay to say?
I would say you have excellent taste, brother. Excellent taste.
Well, Gary mentioned a few things tonight, and we're celebrating so many things here during this remarkable week. We celebrated our 40th anniversary. This is our 10th Hall of Fame. But what you might not know is we're also celebrating something that a lot of the faculty and staff know, but our friends over there might not know. This is Gary Jones' 40th anniversary at Full Sail University. Let's give it up for Gary.
Awesome. Thank you, David. And there's something else to celebrate, another anniversary today.
What's
that? I got
that?
a standing ovation. Thank you very much, Dara. That was awesome. I love you too, buddy. Dr. David Franco has just celebrated 25 years with this university of giving of his heart and soul and his intelligence to our students. Thank you, David.
Touché, Gary, touché. All right, well, it's great to see everyone here at the Fortress tonight. And I have a few things, because it's just been a remarkable Hall of Fame, if you will. I just want to share a few things with all of you tonight. We have more than 45 returning Hall of Fame members with us here this week, giving back to our students. So can I ask all returning Hall of Fame members in both venues to please stand up right now? Please stand up. Oh! Yeah! Yeah! Now we're talking. Oh. It's always remarkable how much you give back to our students. And as you can hear from that thunderous applause, your students and all of the faculty and staff really appreciate everything you do for your university. I also wanted to let you know that a lot of the music you're hearing tonight, the students from the music production program created all tonight's walk-up music. And there are about 75 applicants that were received, and 6 of those were selected. The students had 1 week to create that music. We picked about 6 or 7 of those pieces, and we have those students in the audience, I believe. Can you stand up right now, the music production students who created that great music? Yes. Wow. Flew them in. I'm going to get this wrong too, but we just had a quick conversation, so I'm going off script here for a quick second. So South Korea, Japan, Illinois, Florida. I'm missing one, I think. Minnesota and Kansas. Thank you guys for coming in, flying from across the globe to be here. Thank you very much. You can have a seat. I also want you to know tonight we have 10 online students who wrote essays regarding what winning this experience would mean to them. And the winners were flown from all around the country to attend and be here tonight at the Hall of Fame celebration. Can I ask those 10 online students to please stand up right now? Yes, you. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thanks for being here. And some of you have never been on the campus before, right? Correct? Great. So glad you're here with your sisters and brothers here on there. Well, if 2 stages aren't enough, there's actually 3 stages we're doing this ceremony from. There's 3 stages. That's true. The 3rd stage is in the back lot where many of the students are watching every moment, reacting the way we're doing that. And we're going to see them maybe a little bit later today. But do we have a scene? Can we get a shot from the back lot where our students are? Hey! There they are. And it is packed. And they're not just out there for the free food and prizes later. They're there to see our new inductees. So thank you, everyone, for joining us this evening. And I say we just dive right into the ceremony and meet our first inductee.
Some of my earliest memories were playing video games. I remember going over to my cousin's house, playing on the Commodore 64, and told my mom and dad, I want video games for Christmas. I want a computer for Christmas. And sure enough, they came through for me. They got me a computer, and at the time, you needed to really know about computers, about programming to make them do anything. Really learned to program as I learned to read and write. While the other kids in school were playing in the playground, I was inside playing on the computer, and I've done that my whole life. It's always been something I've been interested in. So I was raised in the Isle of Man, which is a small island just off the coast of England, and it's famous for its cats and its motorcycle races. I would play Doom just on the 56K modem across the island with my friends. It's very scenic. I love going back there and visiting. Not really a whole lot happening on the game development scene there, so I was happy that I got to move to America. It was probably about 2 months after I graduated that Activision were in town. I got talking to the guy who would be my boss at the end, Robert Trevelyan. He was also from England, and he was a motorcycle enthusiast and very familiar with the Isle of Man. So we were just talking about motorcycles. And then the next day, the interview came, and we were already kind of peers at that point. It wasn't stressful. It was just me talking about what I knew, what I enjoyed, and where I wanted to be. And that's really how I've seen every interview since then. Every job I've had has come from some contact that I've made that if I didn't make that contact directly at Full Sail, it was someone at Full Sail that had introduced me. I did a few months at a studio called Darkside. Unfortunately, the studio closed down shortly after I got there, so I didn't get to spend as much time with them as I'd like. And I posted on Facebook, you know, this is a bad day for the studio. I hope everyone lands on their feet. And everyone started responding to me saying, oh, are you looking for another role? And Mark was one of the guys that reached out.
The first time I met Kari Allen was at the 2013 Game Development / Design PAC. I was in artificial intelligence class, and I saw him sitting there on the steps playing DS, like just chilling on campus. And so I grabbed him and was like, hey, you wanna come check out our game? And he's like, sure, I'll come right up. And so Kari came and looked at our game, and that was a big deal to me at the time. And same with all the other people on our team. When the time came, I was on it, like in a heartbeat. I reached out to him minutes after I saw his Facebook post because I knew it would be a great fit and a great addition to the team. And lo and behold, it worked out.
If you could go back when I was 15 years old and playing Doom on that modem and tell Kari that he's gonna be a senior programmer at ADDY, it would make his day. It definitely would. Gaming as a medium has so much power. It can be the way people learn, it can be the way people socialize. There's people out there that are going through hard times, and sometimes gaming is all they have. But there's people out there that are going through good times as well, and gaming can really help make those into even better times. It brings people together, and I think people need to be brought together a lot more.
What I think makes him unique among individuals, especially among, you know, exceptional individuals like we have at ADDY, is he has a tenacity to really stick through adversity. He's been like someone I've looked at with the same level of like respect and admiration as I would look at any Hall of Famer before he'd even been inducted. He's just like a natural part of that crew. The obvious choice for a Hall of Fame, like Hall of Fame 10 especially. And you know, it's about time. It's about time.
Wow, it's still sinking in. I've wanted it for so long, and I've been to all the different Hall of Fame events, and it's been an honor to just take part in Hall of Fame, and to be inducted is just the highest honor. I can't wait to just keep on doing what I'm doing. Really, I'm just really excited for it. Kind of lost for words, I suppose.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kari Allen's friend of more than 20 years and former Full Sail University admissions representative, Susan Van.
So Full Sail has a habit of honoring excellence. That's actually how I met Kari. It was at an Eagle Scout award banquet where Full Sail was one of the sponsors. That was 20 years ago, and since then I've had the privilege to help and guide Kari. He is a gentle soul that has been a joy to work with. He is also, and I'm not surprised, becoming a giant in the industry. It is my great honor to induct Kari Allen into the Full Sail University Hall of Fame.
Thank you guys so much. So I'm a programmer, so I'm a bit better with numbers and words, as you can probably tell from the video. But yeah, if you get nothing other than a drinking game out of my lack of vocabulary, then hopefully we all get something out of this. But I'd like to start out with some thanks. Obviously, the first people I have to thank are my mom and dad right here. And I obviously wouldn't be here without them, but from the time they got me my first computer, and they've always been there for me. And I love them so much, and they've always got my back. And I'm just so glad they could be here tonight. So next, obviously, Susan has been my friend for a very long time, and I'm just so honored that we got to meet through the Eagle Scout program, and she's like a second mother to me. And I miss her when I'm out of town, and I'm, again, so glad that she could be here. And Mr. Rob Coble, you've helped so many people, so many game students throughout their careers, get their careers kick-started, and in my case, you've helped me maintain my career. I definitely wouldn't be here without you. And yeah, well, thank you for everything. To my friends Callie and Rachel and JD and David, I couldn't ask for a better best friends. You guys are always there. You're like the angels and the demons on my shoulders, whispering in my ears all the time. And with Callie and Rachel, you guys make me strong. You dare me to be a better person every day, and I am a better person every day because of you guys. You guys are my strength, my courage, and I love you. And for JD and Dave, you guys are when I need to be grounded, when I need a reality check, when I need to know, when my moral compass needs a little bit of calibration. I know that you guys are the best human beings to do that. You guys have grown to be great fathers to some wonderful children, and I hope that one day I get to be that as well. And to my ID family, especially to Mark, thank you for that wonderful video tribute. That brought a tear to me. But just ID in general is such a wonderful family to be a part of. So when you graduate from here, there might be a few million people in the world that can do what you do. You have a specialist skill set, and a few million people might sound like a lot, but it's really just a fraction of a percentage of the world that can do what you do. And as you get out into the world and you learn your skill a little bit better, you build your trade, then a few million becomes a few thousand, becomes a few hundred, and then there's people like Robert Duffy, Evan Eubanks, Marty Stratton, Hugo Martin. They are just like the one person in the world that can do their roles, I feel like. And I get to work with those guys every day, and it's a great honor. And my UI team, I love you guys. Yeah, we're going to have some fun when I get back to Dallas. And to my friends Will and Amanda, to Justin, to Karis, you guys, whenever I come to Florida, it feels like home because you guys are always here for me. And I can't wait to come back every time and tell you what's going on in my life. And just, yeah, like in Lord of the Rings, there's that Hobbit theme, the Shire theme that plays every time they think of home. And whenever I think of you guys, I hear that in my head because you guys make me think of home all the time. And to my Hall of Fame family, especially the game development graduates, but everyone. Yeah, to Jameson, to Albert, to Grant, and all the other Hall of Famers, thank you for welcoming me into your club. I always feel like family when I come back here, and you guys, it's amazing to be a part of it. So, and along with the Hall of Famers, obviously I have to mention everyone that works at Full Sail, especially the game development faculty, Rob Cato, Haifa, Jeremiah. You guys have really shown me the way, and the course directors. They say that, like, students have asked me a lot, what is it that I'm missing? What do I need to do to be successful? And I say, just listen to these guys. Like, they've told me everything I know. Everything where I am, I just learned that from these guys. I didn't go out and find some special thing that Full Sail didn't teach me. Full Sail prepared me, and I went out there and just did what they told me to do, and that's how I got where I am. And thank you. And thank you all the students. Thank you all, no matter what degree program. Thank you for coming out here. You're all, I come here and I get inspired by you. Inspiration is circular. It's not just trickle down. It doesn't come from the top. You can get inspired from everywhere. And just coming here and seeing students work hard on their projects, that sends me back to Dallas with a little extra strength, a little extra vigor. And yeah, it's just wonderful to get to see you guys work and to spend this week with you guys. So wow, what a good day, what a time to be alive. So I remember having a conversation with my dad a few weeks ago, and he was telling me about my grandpa and the sort of conditions that my grandpa was raised in, and like the house that he would have lived in as a boy, and how that house is probably the size of my bedroom right now, and the whole family had to live in that house, and they didn't even have a bathroom. The bathroom was outside, and they shared it with the entire block of houses. And so my dad would have probably been the first Allen to actually bathe indoors. And then there's me, who has Alexa in his bathroom, and it's bath time karaoke. So I wonder what my children are going to experience, like where the world is going, the way that we learn, the way that we have. The way that we get our media, the way we socialize with people over the last 30 years has just changed so much. And it's all due to technology, and it's going to change again. Sorry, my phone's going to sleep, and it's got my notes on it. Yeah, definitely need my words. But yeah, it's going to change again in that 30 years, and it's just it blows me away. And I come to the panels here, and students ask me, where do you think technology is going? And I have to tell them, I don't know. Like, I don't know where technology is going to be in 30 years. But we've got things like VR, we've got things like esports and streaming that are all in their infancy. And I'm looking forward to seeing where all of those things go. And people ask me, well, you worked on a VR title. Where do you see VR going? What do you think the adoption rate is ever going to be for VR? And I say, oh, it's going to be 100%. And they say, really? You're that confident that people are going to own a Vive or an Oculus? I say, well, no, they're not going to own the things that we have today. But if you think back 30 years, having that same conversation about mobile technology 30 years ago, they knew what a mobile phone was back then. So if you ask them, where do you think this is going to go? What do you think the adoption rate is going to be? And you say 100%, they'd say, really? You think 100% are going to want to walk around with this brick? And it's not where technology begins. It's where it's going that always makes it exciting. So I've been very lucky to work on a lot of emerging technology. I've got to work on Kinect with Microsoft. I've got to work in VR with Doom. I got to work on Guitar Hero, making new controllers for the various different devices. And it's always been amazing. And when the students say, so where is it? Where is it going? What am I going to be doing in 30 years? I tell them I don't know, but I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing where it's going. And to those students, I'm just really excited that we get to work that out together. So I don't know where we're going to be in 30 years, but wherever we are, it's because we've got there together. And I'm just really excited to take that journey with you guys. Thank you all so much. This means the world to me. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Please welcome to the stage 5-time Grammy and 12-time Latin Grammy winning producer-engineer and the very first Full Sail graduate inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2009, Sebastian Chris.
Hey, how you guys doing? So before I tell you this little story, I'm on a medication that apparently one of the side effects is bad judgment. So to my Hall of Fame brothers and sisters, if later on I want to go dynamite fishing with Mary Lou in Lake Osceola, please stop me. So the first Full Sail Hall of Fame in 2009 was, you know, a combination of what are we doing here? Who are these people being inducted with me and why are they here? And, you know, thank God that John Phelps built a school for outcasts like myself. And after running into Gary Jones, you know, realizing that he's still the nicest human being in the world. What we didn't know and what we didn't expect is the profound connections we would build and the intense pride and place this hall would take in our hearts throughout the years. I just want to tell you a small story and a story that encapsulates the hall for me, and I'm sure that if you talk to any Hall of Fame members, it will be repeated over and over again. One of the events was a one-on-one lunch with a student, and her name is Brittany Lemieux. I always butcher her name. I'm sorry, Brittany. She was a music business student, which was disappointing because I'm a music producer, so why am I talking to a music business student? So I had no idea what I could possibly say to her to help her. We're having lunch, and as we spoke, it was apparent to me that she was very, very bright and very driven. And I just simply sold her on the idea that she should try to move to LA for what she wanted to do. Interestingly enough, you know, we kept in touch throughout the years, and she was, you know, hesitant to leave Orlando, leave her friends. Her family's in Michigan, but she did it. And she spent a year really, really struggling in LA. But after that year, you know, and through a lot of trials and tribulations, her dreams started coming true. She's now married. She manages the artist Alan Stone. She's worked with Miley Cyrus, Steven Tyler, Dave Matthews, and works at one of the largest management companies in the world called Red Light Management. And, you know, we keep in touch, and that's the connection the hall has made for us. It really has changed our lives and has changed the lives of a lot of the students that interact with us. And that is a gift for all of us Hall of Famers that is bigger than any award, any accolade, any #1 record, to understand that through this initiative, lives have been changed, but most of all ours. It's a real honor. So now let's meet our second inductee.
For me, when I was in high school, I didn't care much for academics. So when I came to Full Sail, I knew that I was doing this because I wanted to do it and wasn't because I had to do it. So I made sure when I got here that I was dedicated to getting the perfect attendance award and graduating with honors or merit. It took me a little while after I got out of school, though, to find work. It was probably almost a year before I found a job in the industry. It wasn't a job that I enjoyed. I didn't care for it, but it was a job in the industry and a foot in the door. And then it wasn't long after that I got a call from a Full Sail student that I graduated with, who was working for an agency in Chicago doing pro sports web design. And they were about to sign the New York Giants, and they knew they needed some designers on that account. Brandon House really has been one of my best friends throughout my life since Full Sail. And he's really the one that opened the doors for me and kind of got me a foot in the door in sports.
From the very start, I found Mike to be so fascinating. He was in a band, a 80s hair metal band. Maybe not 80s, but he was wild. And it's safe to say at that point, I had never met anybody like Mike. And it's still to this day, it's safe to say that I haven't met anybody like him. Mike is just a guy that you want on your side. I knew of his passion and love for sports, and I knew that he would fit in perfectly with our team. And he's also just such a hard worker, and I knew that he was going to take the role and just run with it, and that's exactly what he did.
I think a lot of it comes from my father with his work ethic. I remember even when I was in the band, he would work a full-time job, and then he would pick me up and drive me to band practice and continue to work while I was at practice. And then at the time he was starting his own business, I really got to see what his work ethic was like, and there was no such thing as a day off. You know, when he looked at doing anything with the business, he's building his reputation equity. Everything that he did reflected on him, and I think that was something that he instilled on me. My career with the Falcons, I've been there, it's about 17 years now, and I started as kind of a lone in-house designer, and we were just focused on digital media and the website. I think the very first time it really hit me was my very first year with the Falcons in '02. We went to the playoffs in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and no team has ever beat the Packers in Lambeau in a playoff game before. And I remember somebody on the team early in the year saying, you know, you've got to make sure you find the moments to take it all in and recognize what you're actually doing. And it was at the end of the third quarter or so when it's starting to snow and the scoreboard showed that we were winning. And I remember standing in the tunnel that day and just kind of looking out at the scoreboard and realizing, wow, this is really amazing.
I've had a front row seat for the majority of his career, for all of his career for that matter, and he's redefining what it means to be the best in the field. From being the first designer the Falcons ever had to leading the entire organization creatively, he just continues to excel. He's one of the best that there is, and he's one of my favorite humans on earth. I feel so honored to be part of this. Benford, thank you, and congrats, buddy.
Being inducted is a dream that I never even knew I had, you know, until it came to be. And then I was like, I can't believe this. It's been unbelievable, the onslaught of Facebook messages or Instagram posts and text messages that I've been getting from other Hall of Famers just welcoming me to the family. And I feel like I've known them for 10 or 15 years already, and I haven't even met them yet. And I'm just a sports guy, so it's so humbling to me that I'm even considered to be in the same group as a lot of these other Hall of Famers. I'm not sure where I'm going from here yet. I still love what I'm doing with the Falcons and with Atlanta United and Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and we're still continuing to change the game, and until that stops, I don't want to be anywhere else.
To induct Michael Benford, please welcome 1999 Full Sail Digital Media graduate, Senior Art Director at Trilogy Interactive, Brandon House.
It is my great honor to induct my really good friend, Michael Benford, to the Full Sail University Hall of Fame.
Wow. My first year with the Falcons, I remember one of the groundskeeper pulled me aside and said to me early, you've got to remember to take the moments, to take it all in, pause, and realize where you're at and what you're doing. And I've got to say, tonight is truly one of those moments. To have my family, my friends, my Full Sail brothers and sisters here tonight really makes this the most significant one of them all. I've got to start by thanking everyone here at Full Sail, everyone who has made this happen tonight. You are what makes this place so unique. You are the heart and soul of Full Sail. This place is so special, and there's no way for me to describe the feeling that I get every time I come back on campus. You really have to experience it firsthand to know what it really is like. Thank you to all the other Hall of Famers that helped pave the way for us. I'm humbled to be amongst all of you, and I can't imagine, or I can't believe, rather, how welcoming and how sincere you all have been since I got inducted. And like I said in the video, so many of you I feel like I've known for all my life, and we just met this week, so thank you. Thank you for embracing us. To my creative team back in Atlanta, you guys are the real Hall of Famers. I wouldn't be here tonight if I didn't surround myself with such incredibly talented people. You have no idea how much I value what you do for our team and how I continue to learn from each and every one of you every single day. So thank you. Brandon House. Brandon, we met at our first day at orientation here at Full Sail. And I'll still remember that day that we ran into each other at Blockbuster Video, and he asked if I would buy him some beer because his roommates would think he was the coolest. Ever since then, we've been lifelong friends. And without your friendship, I certainly wouldn't be here today, and I have no idea where my career really would be. Whenever anyone asks me how I broke into the NFL, I always tell them it's about the relationships and the friends that I made while I was here. Randy Stearns, your guidance has inspired me throughout my entire career. Thank you for giving me my first opportunity in sports. Thank you for even later in my career pushing me to step outside of my comfort zone and share my knowledge and my experiences with others. Thank you to Arthur Blank and all the leadership at the Atlanta Falcons for building a culture based on values that we're so proud to live by, and for providing me the opportunity to help build the Falcons, United, and Mercedes-Benz Stadium brands over all these years. Most importantly, Mom and Dad, thank you. Thank you for always telling me I needed to live the life that I wanted to live and not the life that anyone else wanted for me. Thank you, Mom, for passing on your creativity, feeding my art, my desire for art, and enrolling me in drawing classes and sharing Uncle Harry's charcoal drawings with me at such an early age. It really helped pave my way. Dad, for everything you've ever sacrificed for me along the way, for teaching me about relationships and business and instilling in me a work ethic that helped get me through the long hours and weekends while here at Full Sail and throughout my entire career. And while I didn't always agree with all your methods, like waking me up with that cold spray bottle you kept in the refrigerator when I was running late for work, but I love you for it, and I thank you both for everything that you did. I wouldn't be here in front of all you tonight without them. Before I go, I wanted to give one piece of advice to the students and recent grads. When I look back at my career, better yet, when I look back at my life, the most important moments, the moments that I did stop and pause for, all became because I leaned into the uncomfortable. It was because I was willing to take chances and I wasn't afraid to fail, and I was willing to let myself be vulnerable. Take risks and allow yourselves to be influenced by someone, something, and someone new. Thank you.
Please welcome Full Sail University Media Communications Program Director, Kathy Craven.
Thank you. Wow, what a night. It's such an honor to be among these amazing giants, and most importantly, to feel like this amazing, rich family that gets to be together. So thank you for letting me have a moment to share this with you. And on behalf of all of us, I want to thank all of the Hall of Famers, graduates, faculty, and staff. You've provided a dynamic learning environment for all of our students. But I want to tell you about one group of students who have been impacted by the gift of your time and hard work. During Hall of Fame, the Full Sail Media Communications students, led by a fiercely dedicated faculty, have been working behind the scenes to cover the event. In this way, Hall of Fame becomes the classroom. Because of the generous support and guidance of Sari Keitlin, Danielle Dawson, our Platinum friends, and our outstanding MCBS faculty, media communication students have been covering the event through video and photography, design and social media, blog posts, and podcasts. The conversation between the students and their faculty mentors begins months before Hall of Fame as they plan for the event. Student leaders are chosen, creative meetings are held, and special Hall of Fame technical training is provided. Students cover everything from interviews with Hall of Famers, to photographing events, to writing about the creative experience, and interacting with online students who are on campus sometimes for the very first time to experience Hall of Fame. From the standpoint of how we do education here at Full Sail, putting students into the field to apply knowledge is what we do best. The extraordinary part happens when students, faculty, and Hall of Famers come together in a unique learning environment and a once-in-a-lifetime interactions transform into valuable learning opportunities. Like when a Hall of Famer takes time after a long day of panels to give students an interview, or when recent grads come back to share how they transitioned from school to work that first year after graduation. Or when students edit their work alongside Full Sail's talented staff and faculty. Hall of Fame is a classroom, and you, our Hall of Famers and distinguished guests, are all teachers. For our students, this week is a microcosm of the industry. It's a snapshot of what happens when they walk through their fears and find themselves on the other side. Thank you to the MCBS faculty, Platinum, education leaders, Hall of Famers, returning graduates, all the volunteers for creating such an amazing educational experience throughout this week that only Full Sail can provide. Most of all, thank you to the students. You are our heroes, our inspiration, and we all take your dreams seriously. Now let's meet our next inductee.
Getting to Full Sail was about a 3-year journey for me. I worked about 3 or 4 different jobs just to save the money I could to get here. And those jobs were anything from working security at the arena, because that was the closest thing I could do to get into the business, to recycling carpet padding, because I was so driven and I knew what I wanted to do that I was willing to work the hours to the point where you really debated, do I shower or do I sleep? That really prepared me for the schedule here at Full Sail and for the entertainment industry in general. While I was in school, I loved lighting, and there really wasn't much of it at the time. When I wasn't in school on the weekends, I was doing lighting for other companies on the side, whether it be Tampa or Orlando here locally. By the time it came time for my actual lab for lighting, I was actually the student who was setting it all up for my class. There's been great people who have helped me out along the way, some incredible production managers, people who see where you are and see the drive that you have. Bob Peterson, who I met starting very early in my career. I would find the ways and the opportunities to really ask him questions and try not to be annoying. But he was very gracious in answering the questions I had, and really kind of took me under his wing into anything I wanted to know, he would share with me.
Curiosity and volunteering were characteristics that Brian had very present right away. If we'd be in a programming session where normally the technical crew would be sitting backstage and just waiting it out, Brian would come and watch and ask questions when it was appropriate and involve himself as much as he could to learn every bit of what the whole process was.
He really helped cultivate me from a technician up to a programmer into a designer, and really showed me along the way of how to do things, how to make things look great, not only physically in front of you, but on camera as well.
I think Brian's growth is attributed to his curiosity, but also a desire to always make things better. And he's realized pretty early that you can only do so much on your own. So if you involve yourself through camaraderie and teamwork, you can collectively raise the level of the project. Out on tours, for example, he's not just video directing and switching and calling cameras. He's actually working with the lighting department, the band roadies in terms of where things are placed, even audio, to make sure that they're collectively raising the bar of the entire project. And I think this is what's led him into a director's chair.
Being inducted into the Hall of Fame, when I found out, was quite shocking. Honestly, I felt like I was never at the level that previous inductees were at. I saw other peers of mine be inducted. I saw Dylan Dresda, who I was in class with, and we worked side by side. And Jeremy Vickery, who was my roommate going to school here, and Tyke Santos, who I've toured with. So I knew very closely people who have been inducted. To be inducted into that class and that fraternity with peers and friends who I already had was really, really great as well. It's never the motive. It's never to be inducted in the Hall of Fame. It's not why I do what I do. I just do what I do because I love what I do.
To induct Brian Caraco, please welcome lighting designer and president of Real World Lighting, Robert W. Peterson.
Brian reminds me of a great big family. He is a man overfilled with curiosity, hard work, creativity, pranksterism, compassion, love, loyalty. My eyes and ears and heart this week are full seeing that the same foundation is Full Sail. It's the same love and family through everything I've seen here. We've got a short video of some more members of the family.
Hey guys, Thomas Rhett here. Want to say a huge congrats to our buddy Brian. We call him Sweet Pea out on the road. But buddy, big congrats when we become a member of the Full Sail University Hall of Fame. That's amazing. What a huge accomplishment. We love you out here. All the best to you. God bless you.
Hey, congratulations, Sweet Pea, on becoming a Hall of Fame member for Full Sail. I am so proud of you. I'm glad to have been one of those people that was, I guess, a part of your history getting you to this prestigious honor. And I know what did it. It's you dressing up in gold lame jumpsuits and diapers and crazy pranks that we pulled on people. That's what I think put you over the edge. Congratulations, and you're welcome.
Hey there, Brian, or as we all like to call you, Sweet Pea. Congratulations on becoming a member of the Full Sail University's Hall of Fame.
How about that? The two most important members of the family, Mom and Dad, couldn't make it. I know they're home. I think they're watching. And I know they're filled to busting seeing this for Brian. I think it's altogether fitting that this family inducts Brian Caraco into the Full Sail Hall of Fame.
Wow, this moment finally came.
I was one of the first ones to be interviewed, so I think that was in January, so glad to see all those blabbering thoughts came into something. There's so many people to thank here today and tonight. It's 20 years of a great career. So I'm going to try not to ugly cry here. But my job's a little different. We have a wonderful home in Nashville that I'm away from about 225 to 250 days a year. So while I'm away, I have a wonderful family there. And the head of that family is my wife. And thank you. She's really the Hall of Fame winner of all this. She's the one when I call to check in, and I keep hearing saying, boys, you can't play hockey in front of the sliding glass window. And she's the one who deals with the water leak when I'm not there, and sometimes takes on the fix of that on her own and ripping down drywall. So I love you, babe, and this is for us. I really love what I do. I try to take every job I can. And so this here is a great award. And I hope I haven't neglected my 4 children enough in that. So my 4 wonderful children, Braxton, Taylor, Isis, and Kason. And I know I'm not here all the time, but I hear all the scouting reports, so I'm there with you. And as Bob mentioned, my mom and dad who are not here, a great blessing came to our family. My father was in need of a surgical procedure to help improve his health. And we got some great news that he was actually bumped up to take care of that sooner. And it just happened to have been yesterday. So he's recuperating. So, video director team, if you'll appease me, I'm going to look right down this window, this camera right here. And Mom and Dad, I love you. And I want you to know that as if you're right here. Please applause. I have 2 great brothers, and one of them is here tonight, my brother Greg, who we helped kind of learn to love music together. We would, in our infinite wisdom, make speaker boxes out of car speakers a lot. We would kind of surround them around our head because we thought we were cool. But he's the one who really drove me into music, and we would always go to concerts, so he was my concert buddy together. And which really helped me, feel that ultimate rush of the start of a concert. And I will tell you this, after 22 years, that rush doesn't go away, and I hope it never does. Now to my second family, my Full Sail family. It probably sounds cliche at this moment, but it is anything but. I'm glad to be part of 59 other most beautiful human beings. And I love you all dearly, and I see some of you sitting there, and some of my best friends I've made, and I look forward to the future with you guys. To some absolute amazing staff members while I was going here. Nell Thompson, thank you so much. Yep. Dana Round. Miss Tammy Elliott, I believe she is backstage. Thank you. Tammy set me up with a wonderful job, which turned into an incredible career with a great company called Verylight. And she probably saw a whole lot more in me than I did at the time. And I appreciate it so much, Tammy, and thank you, and I love you. There's one more staff member, and I would be greatly remiss if I did not mention. He is no longer with us, but when I was here, and if you know him, you know, Eric Abraham. And yeah. Eric had the love and compassion that I learned from him and that I watched to follow his example. And when it comes to the show, it's whatever it takes to get the show done, no matter what department you're working, no matter what the situation is. If you have something to offer to make the show happen, then you offer it up, and you do that. And Eric, I love you, brother, and thank you so much. Bob, thank you again. What a great message. All that is so true. I think Bob saw this week, and which is what I wanted him to witness, was the love and compassion of helping here at Full Sail, because he shares those same qualities and traits. And so I want him to see what helped make me who I am today. My Platinum Creative team, thank you guys so much. I love you guys. You guys did some wonderful work, and thank you again. I want to also thank all of my Show Pro crew students who I did not get to meet this week because you were all working, as you should be. So thank you guys very much. Real quick also to my crew on the road, they make me and make my job real easy as a director. And thank you to all the crews I've had before, and I love you guys very much. So I would like to speak a little bit to the students of past, present, and future. So that would be all of you. My wonderful daughter graduated this past week from high school, and I heard some commencement speeches about how the journey has come to the end. You know, and this is a group of graduating high school seniors, and they know everything, so I'm very interested in what they have to say. So they kept saying that this is the end of the journey, and it's truly not. That is for sure. But you know, the journey is full of a lot of things. We have some ups and downs to the journey. My wife, fortunately and unfortunately, has had the front row seat to all the ups and downs. And but to keep the journey is what keeps me going. My journey is always something new every day. I know when we see everything here at Full Sail and all this is great and it looks awesome and right now and it looks easy and today is easy. This is an easy day. But all the days leading up to this, you know, some of them were not so easy. But I know all of my Hall of Fame brothers and sisters I've grown to know. And I do know this one thing, that none of them is an overnight success. Not one. But every single one of them is an overtime success. And because they have all put in the overtime, whether at home, studying, or working extra on the gig, it is because of that. And that's why they are where they are. The journey is always going and always winding. My hope for students, future, past, and present, is that your journey never ends. Because when it does, I don't know what I'll do. So I hope your journey never ends. I love you all. Thank you very much.
Please welcome to the Fortress, Full Sail University President Gary Jones.
Hey, buddies. Woo-hoo!
guys are awesome. Wow. Much respect, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the encouragement. Love you too, buddies. Love you too. Oh my goodness. Really love you guys. Oh, thank you. David Franco dressed me. Do you like them? It's good, huh? He did awesome. I would be remiss, first of all, thank you for that warm greeting. That was so precious, guys. It means the world to me. Thank you. I would be remiss without mentioning our sponsors for Hall of Fame this week and all weeks. Our sponsors are the ones you see on the screens here, coming up in a moment, I think. And these are folks, companies, but companies are people, right? These are people that really believe in the mission of Full Sail University, and most importantly, in our students and our graduates. And so these sponsors, we can't thank you enough for believing. And some of these good people have been with us for 10 years, ever since the very first Hall of Fame. So would you give a round of applause for the sponsors that stepped up and helped make this possible? Thank you all. Yeah. I want to spend, if you'll indulge me for just a couple of minutes, I want to spend some minutes and talk to you about what I think Hall of Fame means. And yeah, this was going to be what it means to me, but I think I want to universalize it and say, Hall of Famers, I want to talk about what it means to us, the collective us. First, I want to speak to some general things. This is a week, yet this is only 1 week in which you collectively contribute by coming here in mass to meet with our students, to mentor them, to do small group sessions, to do large group sessions, to go to classrooms, do panel discussions. You give and you give and you give. You guys look pretty worn out, don't you? Yeah. You have worked very hard this week to do wonderful things with and for our student body, our current students. But this is this is 1 week. Each of you, and some of you collectively, will come back time and time and time again throughout the year and do this very same thing that you've been doing with us the past 4 days. And so your commitment isn't to a week out of every year. Your commitment, by example, is that you come as often as you can, and you do what you can do to elevate the student experience, to give them information that's important. And so thank you for all the giving and all the kindness of spirit that happens with and through you every single year and all the days you're here. A quick sidebar, they fixed the air conditioner. Yeah. So I know it's toasty in here. It's very toasty. But the guys, just before I walked out on stage, they said, we got it. It's just going to take a few minutes to cool down the room now. So I'm sorry about that. Hang in, people. Keep the fans going. So what happens, and students, you're here. You could tell better than I could, but allow me to try and represent. And faculty, you're here. And staff, you're here. And I'm here. Let me try to represent all of us just for a moment. Hall of Famers, what you do this week in mass, when you collectively come here, it supercharges us, starting with me. When you leave, it's going to be a little sad. I always get just a little depressed after you guys head back to your jobs and your lives because you bring such joy and great energy to our campus. Know this, Hall of Famers and other graduates that have been here this week. It doesn't stop when you go home. The empowerment that you bring to us charges us up for months and months. It gives us a renewed understanding of what taking dreams seriously actually means in actions and in doing things. You show us how to do that right, how to do it well. And you help augment our skill set. We learn from you by watching you and understanding what you do with and for our students. There are graduation ceremonies over the next 4 to 5 months where the graduates will applaud, and sometime there will be standing ovations because of the spirit that you leave behind when you go back to work. What you do is a little bit on the supernatural side. It's just giving of your hearts and yourselves and leaning into the lives of other people. These happen to be our students, and doing the good work of encouraging them, connecting them to job opportunities outside of here, elevating their understanding of what the industry holds ahead for them. You weave magic, understanding, and goodness throughout all the lives you touch. And we are forever grateful, and we're forever better for it. Honest to goodness, on Monday, I'll come back to work here. Well, it's not work. On Monday, I'll come back to my life here, and I'll be thinking about the things I watched you do, and I will do my best to be a better person here with and for our student body because of what I see. So that's the universal. I would like to spend an hour talking person by person about the 60 of you. No, somebody said no, just don't do that here. So I won't, but I won't. What I would like to do is just call out some specific examples. First, the universal truth, and now some of the specific things I've watched. I watched Kim Alpert critiquing student projects from a creative standpoint. And she would break down everything that student had done to the point where the student was looking a little stunned, and then in the next breath, teach them everything that she saw that would make the project better, more effective, a better communication. Sebastian Chris, numerous times over the years since he was inducted, will call me and say, Gary, I met a student that is on the move. I have an opportunity for that person in LA. You have got to help me get that person here because I know this is going to be the right move for them. And he has single-handedly helped current students he met coming here to mentor and talk, to take them out and not just get them started, but he recently told me a story about a student that has surpassed him in the studios, working more than Sebastian does, is making incredible money and has achieved a new level, a new height in his career. Leslie Brathwaite, I don't know where you get the bandwidth to come here so often and give so much time. Leslie wanders around the parking lot at night just talking to students, taking them into the studio to where he's working, and the daytime too. I mean, the guy's here 24/7, it seems, and he's got a perfectly fine studio in Atlanta, Georgia. I've been there. It's a world-class studio, but he chooses to come here and mix records like Rihanna and Ariana Grande and Beyonce and Cardi B, because he wants to do it in our studios so the students can come and watch and learn. That's crazy. It's good crazy, right? I mean, I could go on and on and on and just list story after story. There isn't enough time, but I just wanted to say thank you, Hall of Famers. What you do matters deeply and greatly, and it affects the lives of many, and we are forever grateful for you. Give it up for the Hall of Fame members. Thank you. Yeah. Let's check out this video as to some of the things that happened here on campus this week.
Full Sail University's Hall of Fame, a time of inspiration, learning, and self-reflection. A time to recharge your inner creative. A time where industry professionals take time out of their busy schedules to give back to those who need it most. The students who admire their success and aspire to pursue their dreams. This week-long event has entered its 10th year, and we talked to a few students about what this week means to them.
Let's
how crowded it is. There's so many people here. It's super exciting. You know, you get your friends, you got industry professionals you're networking with. There's so much to do here. Food trucks. It's just, it's a fun experience just to be here.
I mean, I love it. I'm just loving everything, loving exposure, loving being able to meet with people, networking, you know, and just being yourself, you know, just being genuine, just enjoying the experience.
I love the painting, the painting on the murals. I'm about to get also my handprint done just to memorialize the moment of 2019's Hall of Fame.
I really liked the cosplay contest because I was Wonder Woman in it.
So fun, and I'm so happy. Even like the closet cosplayers, they were like, oh, and I'm like, no, please come out in your cosplay. That's what's important. You're enjoying yourself, you're talking to people, you're interacting, you're networking, and that's
about like the community rather than like the costume itself.
Community.
I loved the Fortress Fort. My grandparents were watching on TV, and they watched all of a Fortnite tournament. So that on its own, to have like super country, like Texas grandparents watch an entire Fortnite tournament, is a pinnacle of Full Sail success with esports.
The best part about the Hall of Fame for me so far is being able to talk to the president and the CEO of like all the different teams like EU United and Florida Mayhem, and being able to network with them and further my career once I graduate.
So far this week has been amazing. It's been so many wonderful people, so many great workshops. I've learned a ton of information and met some fantastic people that are industry, that are excited, and they're teaching me a lot too as I grow with my career here at Full Sail, so I'm excited. It's been great.
I believe that in any industry that who you surround yourself with is what you're going to be like, so I wanted to surround myself with the best people. Where else can you come and talk to people like David Farmer and just have a personal one-on-one conversation?
Right as Gary Rizzo walked into the room, I just like felt his energy, and I'm like, dang, I gotta talk to this guy.
My favorite person to talk to is Leslie Brathwaite, Fernando, Rick Veras. I mean, I'm an audio guy, so that's who I look up to. That's who I want to be.
I'm really interested in seeing Pete Cooper because of his experience with Diablo 3. He did like this rainbow level. And that's one of my favorite parts of the whole game.
Grant Schonkweiler and Kari Allen both worked on one of my favorite games, Doom 2016, and I just, would love to talk their ear off about those.
It's just a really fun time where so many like-minded people are all in the same place, and every person you bump into, you just have a conversation with, and it's really, really entertaining.
Well done. Woo! Well done. Are you ready for the next inductee? Let's do it!
I grew up in an amazing time for games. I was born the same year that the Atari 2600 came out, and I got the NES in 1984 when it came out. And that was just like an amazing highlight of my life. I think one of the reasons that I fell in love with games so much is because I had such a hard childhood, and it was such an amazing escape to be able to go into these worlds that had all this happy, cool fantasy stuff happening. I grew up very poor. We bounced around. We lived in motels a lot. It made me realize, what I don't want for my life. So I've always had an extremely strong work ethic. When I joined the military, I was promoted very quickly. Once I was done with the Army, I knew I wanted to make games, and I came to Full Sail to check it out. And there's a lot of times where students were like, hey, let's go party, or let's go do this and that. And I'm like, well, no, I'm gonna be in lab. I will be in lab anytime lab is open. And I actually missed the portfolio demonstration because I was at a job interview. So Chris Hague is one of my favorite people in the world. I met him first at Blizzard. He was one of the best VFX artists in the game industry. He's phenomenal. We've been friends for over a decade. He is incredibly candid, almost to a fault.
We were hiring artists, and this person's demo reel came across our desks. And it had some of the best art I'd ever seen in it. But at the time, it was very controversial because his art style didn't, I feel, look like Diablo at all. And so when he came in, I was very skeptical. And it was over a long period of time where I got to really see the things that Pete brings to the table other than just his fantastic art, which is the way he treats other people. It's the way that he treated the project. It's how hard he worked. Leadership is something that you can't measure. very easily. Pete's got it in aces. Pete has a calendar where he remembers everybody's birthday, for example. He will always listen to you, regardless of what it is you have to say. I mean, he listens to me, and I'm like a sledgehammer. And Pete has done a lot of great things for a lot of people for no reason other than just to do good things for people.
I've always been a see a need, fill a need guy. This is why I ended up being such a generalist, is because I would kind of go to teams and look at what it is that they're missing or where's their weakest point, and then try to get better at that to help fill that project. So when it came to looking at philanthropy and like doing good things in the game industry, there's such a huge gap there. We've always done community service. We've always tried to get people to do more charitable things. So we just decided, hey, let's just do that full time and really see how far we can push that.
When Pete tells me that he's gonna leave to start working on Gamers for Good full time, I was not really surprised by this, because if you watch what Pete does, that's where Pete's heart is. Pete loves making video games, but in equal parts, Pete loves getting back to the community. It's a perfect blend for him. I don't feel like there's a better person you could pick for this. And as soon as I heard this was happening, I was immediately very excited, because Pete embodies a lot of the things that we should be as game developers.
I rarely look back at my own career and say, wow, I've done so much and this is so interesting, because it's just an everyday thing for me. So it's been a great reflective opportunity, and it makes me even more proud of the accomplishments that I've done. I have no idea what's in my future. I know I'll always be doing Gamers for Good. But as I said before, I'm a see a need, fill a need guy. So yeah, if I see, big opportunities to do big things to help people, that's what I want to do. So it could be anything.
To induct Pete Cooper, please welcome Pete's former colleague at Blizzard Entertainment and Riot Games. He is now CEO and co-founder at Ludi Games, Kari Allen.
What's up, guys? All right. Well, I've had the opportunity to meet a lot of great people in my life for some reason, and Pete is without a doubt the greatest man I know, and it is my honor to induct him into the Full Sail University Hall of Fame.
Well, I gotta say, that was a little disappointing. That's the least trolly thing Haga has ever said. One of the reasons I brought him here is because he's so over the top, and that was so professional. What the hell? All right, so I want to start by thanking a few people, and then I want to tell you a little story. Let's see if I can find my information here. All right, so first off, I'd like to thank Kari Hague. Thanks so much for coming out. It's been a blast working with Chris over the 5 years at Blizzard, and then I dragged him to Riot to help make the VFX awesome, and he really did, so thanks so much. I want to thank all my friends, my family and colleagues. There's so many, I could just sit here for days going over them. I want to thank my wonderful daughters. My wonderful 3 daughters. Kayla is my oldest. She just graduated from college last week, so I'm very proud of her. She's not going in the game, so you don't have to clap for her. But my other 2, Sasha, my programmer, she's graduating from high school in a couple weeks. Awesome. And my daughter Jasmine, who is
She's going to be 17 next week, and she's my artist, and she will potentially be coming to Full Sail in a couple years, which is awesome. She's my favorite, primarily because she's the one who showed up today. So I want to thank my brother Pat, who is the most inspiring human I've ever met. I've known him my whole life, of course. He is a special education high school teacher, which is one of the most unsung, heroic jobs in our society. He not only helps special needs people, students, grow into successful adults, he also spends his evenings and weekends helping them find jobs throughout their community. So he's an awesome guy. So I want to thank all of the amazing soldiers I had the opportunity to serve with in the U.S. Army. From them, I learned discipline, sacrifice, and what it means to be mission-focused. It was an amazing time for me, and I really appreciate everything they did for our country. And of course, I want to thank all the teachers, staff, and peers here at Full Sail. This is where I learned to turn my passion for games into my career, which was just a phenomenally amazing experience. And also, all of my new friends and family that I've met over this past week, being in a room with these 60 people has just been completely mind-blowing and humbling. Someone said, we were just hanging out a couple days ago, and someone asked a question about Unreal. I don't remember who it was. But someone said, no matter what, someone in here either has the answer or knows the number one person in the world who has the answer. And that's just incredible. So thanks for that. And of course, I want to thank all of the amazing game developers I've worked with over the past 16 years. It's been such a crazy, awesome ride. We've grown together, we've failed together, we've made a bunch of amazing things. We've canceled a bunch of amazing things. It's been such a great ride, and I look forward to the ride continuing. And of course, I'd love to thank the most important person in my life, which is my wife, Liz. She has given me all the love and support that I have needed to succeed over the past 25 years. She took care of our 3 babies while I was deployed overseas with the Army, which is not easy to do. During Full Sail, she held down the fort and did all the things so that I could focus on learning, I could focus on my education. I struggled to learn some of the tools like Maya, and she actually learned it because she's so much better technically than I am. She learned it herself so she could help me in anything I needed, which was just incredible. So she has supported me through my entire career, and it's just been phenomenal. And now she is the president and runs all the operations for Gamers for Good, our nonprofit organization, which is dedicated to helping gamers give. So she does everything logistics because I can't do any of that shit. And we literally would get nothing done without her. So that's just incredible. So there are really no words to describe just how grateful I am to Liz. I know for a fact I would not be here, and I would not be half the man I am today without her love and support. So thank you, Liz. All right, so a little story. I love hearing all the great tales of people having these amazing parents and all this love and support, and that's so heartwarming. And it's also great to know there's people who come from very different perspectives, different upbringings. So for me, I had an incredibly difficult childhood. I was very poor. My father was a violent, abusive alcoholic who spent many years going through jail and prison. My mother was a drug addict who did her best to support us with as much as she could with what little we had. As I said on the video, I jumped around between motels because we couldn't afford, we lived day to day. She was a waitress, so we lived day to day off her tips, and we couldn't afford an apartment at any point. And I spent times where I was just living on the street because I didn't want to go home because it was such a rough situation. So growing up at that time, this was way before there was any internet or cell phones or any way to get online inspiration. So all of my role models when I was young were from comic books. I had characters like Captain America who always did the right thing, always defended people who couldn't defend themselves. Characters like Iron Man who were just a normal guy who used his intelligence to do phenomenal things. And characters like Storm from the X-Men, who's the most powerful character as a confident black woman. That was really amazing at that time. Yes, Storm! So I remember going to, one of my friend's dads brought me to a comic convention, and they're just like, oh yeah, there's gonna be all these people who make comics. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess people do make comics. I have them. So there I met some comic artists, and I came to realize, Jim Lee and Eric Larson and Mark Silvestri and Todd McFarlane, like, these were real people, and they got paid money to make comic books. And that was just a completely mind-blowing idea to me. I was like, holy shit, this is a job. So once that happened, I just decided I'm gonna draw every day for the rest of my life. Like I'm gonna do it. And I had zero talent. I mean, I couldn't draw a line, like nothing. Like I know there's people who have all this amazing skill and God-given gifts. Nah, forget it. Mine was all just do it over and over and over and over until I could do it. And then I fell into video games. And video games were just such a phenomenal thing because no matter how rough things got for me, no matter how hard my life was, I could hop into this game world, this amazing fantasy world where I could be the hero. I could save the villagers. I could do anything I wanted to do. And that is just so important. It's been so important to me. And it makes me realize how important it is for us as creators. As creators, we have such an amazing power and ability to inspire. People around the world who are having really rough lives and really rough times, they count on us to deliver the content that they need to be inspired, to get through rough times in their lives. So just keep that in mind as we go forward. So, a message to the students. What you have here is unprecedented. It's unparalleled. The amount of talent here that is at your disposal is just completely unbelievable. I wish there was a Hall of Fame class when I went here. That would be amazing. But it's like just your peers and all these incredible people, like take advantage of that. Like reach out to these people all the time. There's no way to describe how lucky you are to have all of these people here for you. And I'm available to you. Feel free to reach out to me, ping me. I'll be really honest with you. I'll tell you why your shit sucks, but I'll help you out any way I can. All I ask. So all I ask in return is that you pay it forward, not just to other future students and your peers, but also to people around the world in need. Find ways you can give back. Find ways you can do charitable things. People don't know this, but you can spend 2 hours on a Saturday at your local food bank and help feed 1,000 people in need. There's many, many ways we can do great things. So as a community, as an industry, let's make the world a better place. Thanks.
Please welcome back Dr. David Franco.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello, Full Sail Live. It's wonderful to be with you here in person. Love you too, Luis. Thank you. I paid Luis to say that. Or was that Rafael? I didn't tell. He's got the twins. Too easy. Too easy. As Gary showed you earlier, this week was full of wonderful, wonderful events, and we just had one this afternoon on the outdoor stage. We were so honored to welcome multi-Grammy-winning producer, writer, and entrepreneur Timbaland to Full Sail University. Yeah! He gave us his time to answer questions, meet with our student body, and I believe he even surprised Andrew, Marcelo, and Demo in one of the panels this afternoon. So what a wonderful, wonderful experience that we had this afternoon. And he just talked to our students about his amazing career. We are just honored to have him do that. Another stellar moment I wanted to mention this week included a presentation of our Icon Award. And every year, we'd have an Icon Award recipient. And our honors go to those who are innovators, friends of Full Sail, and they are heroes who inspire others who wish to travel in their footsteps and one day have taken time to share their experiences and knowledge and talents with our Full Sail community as a whole. This year's Icon Award winner is the first company that we recognize with nearly 40-year relationship with Full Sail University. So let's take a look at Claire Global accepting their award.
You, under the Claire Global name, have hired hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of our graduates. You took them back and trained them and showed them how to be a professional on the road and to give them a shot at this. You guys are responsible for the success of so many of our graduates. They are the perfect company to take what we do here and take it to the next level. And that partnership that we have had is something that is a blessing to us and to our graduates. And we are forever thankful. And we thank you very much.
The Industry Icon Award this year goes to Claire Global.
I just want to say thanks to Full Sail
for always being there for us. You've been an amazing, I mean, I can't thank enough people. It's been a surreal experience, a wonderful, surreal experience for me, and it's been fun to watch. Dave and I still like coming down here to, do interviews, and we keep up with the students. We want to be there for them, and we want to be part of that.
Yeah, on behalf of Claire, I mean, thank you. Thank you. It's humbling and honoring to be up here, to think about the innovation and the talent and the creative capacity that's in this room, and that is Full Sail. Wow, what an honor. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, let's give it up. Claire Global. I want to again recognize Dave Lester and our very own Leon Hopkins, who's in the audience right now. Can you stand up, Leon? Where are you? Stand up, Leon. There he is. He's kind of shy. Thank you, Leon. That was just a wonderful night and a wonderful evening with our Icon Award winner. Well, I think it's that time. I think we want to get to know our next Hall of Fame inductee. Thanks.
I spent 4 years in the Marines. As a hobbyist guitar player, I had Pro Tools in the Marines, and I would just kind of like record friends of mine. And then it was when I got out, I went to Los Angeles to visit some friends. These guys were just making music production and doing the music life. And that's kind of like when I found out it was an actual career. Like, dudes were doing it for real. I interned at one studio, which is Track Record in Los Angeles. Got my start there. And I was working on a Most Def session, assisting this engineer, Shannon Fairchild. And they were going to Record Plant. And I was like, why is everyone going to Record Plant? So Jan's like, dude, I can get you a job at Record Plant. I used to work there. I know Rose. And Rose at the time was the boss lady at Record Plant. I met a lot of cool people there, people that took my career to the next level. One of those people was Caraco.
Josh and I met about 10 or 11 years ago. I was working on Lionel Richie's project at the Record Plant. Josh was my assistant on the session, and I needed to actually go in the booth and sing some background vocals once Lionel left. And I asked Josh, I was like, hey man, would you mind, just cutting me real quick on this? I know how everything is supposed to be in my headphones, like it's a very specific way, as an artist to be singing something. And I remember realizing that Josh, without us even talking about what I wanted to hear, he was naturally putting it in the same place that I would put it in. So at that point, I was just kind of like, wait a second, this dude is actually, he's special. He recorded me on this one record. I came back the next day. I was like, man, would you mind coming back doing this again? I really like what you're doing. And then after I got done with the record, I asked him if he would, do a rough mix on it. And once he did that, I was like, this is the guy. Like, Josh is he's the shit.
When we did Rihanna's Loud album, we jumped on tour with her, and we had a studio bus. So Rihanna would perform, and then after her performance, she would do a meet and greet, and maybe around 1 o'clock in the morning, she'd jump on the bus, and we'd cut vocals until she was tired. Once Loud was done, Kook was already jumping on her next project. So at the time, I kind of got shifted off the Rihanna project, and I was a little bummed out about that, because, Rihanna's dope. And then like 3 or 4 days later, I get a text from JB. He's like, can you come on the road with me? I want to do an acoustic album. And I was like, sure, let's go. Kook, up to that point, did every album Justin's ever worked on.
When Josh asked me about doing the Justin Bieber project without me, I felt great about it because I saw that he had learned one of the most important things that I was conveying to him in our mentor relationship, and that's a basic respect. And of course, on the human side, it's kind of like, oh, my guy's gonna leave me. But at the same time, as a leader, that also shows you who you are as a leader. When I see that they go on to do huge things, I know that a part of me is still with them.
As far as the mentorship goes, Kook was a very important mentor in my life. When you're in the military, everyone has to learn each other's jobs, and everyone teaches you things. If everybody knows what they're doing, it makes the whole team stronger. The music industry is not so easy to find a mentor, and people keep secrets and keep things hidden for the sake of their own careers. I don't take that approach. I've always had a mentor. I've always been mentoring people. I'll make sure that I could do everything in my power to teach them everything I know and to raise them up and crush it in the industry. You know, there's no room for ego in music.
Josh, man, I just want to tell you, first and foremost, I love you. Number two, I am super, super, super proud of you. Nobody deserves this more than you do. You are such a great man. You're such a humble man. You are such a great talent. Continue to do what you do. Continue to be a great dad. I know you are. So it is my honor to induct Josh Goodwin into the Full Sail University Hall of Fame. You deserve it. Go get it.
Thank you to Gary Jones for delivering this trophy to me personally.
You're my favorite.
Bro. All right, I'm gonna see how long I could talk up here without her going crazy, but I think it's special to show the children some extraordinary experiences, and this being one of them. So first and foremost, the reasoning behind going to Full Sail was not premeditated. I did not have a plan. I guess I was rebelling against spending 4 years in the Marines and wanting to do something completely different. And then when I found out that this was an actual job, I was sold. So this is a magical place for a lot of magical people. To the godmothers and godfathers of the Hall of Fame, thank you for opening up the books and putting my name in there. Early on in life, I was introduced to music from my mom and dad, who are in the audience today. My dad always played really good records and had a whole bunch of albums for me to listen to, and my mom would drag me to live venues and keep me up late at night in clubs where most kids weren't allowed to be in. So from early on, they were training my ear, even though they didn't realize they were doing that. Going to eat over at my grandpa's house, like my grandma and grandpa would always have jazz music playing and always dance after dinner. And having that memory inside of me is just etched in my brain as happiness and pure love. Let's see here. Charity and Marcella told me I'm gonna get up here and cry. And then I told them I'm thinking about bringing my baby up here, and then they're like, you're really gonna cry? So if you guys bet against me, anybody in the audience bet against me, that money's coming to me. Okay. So me following my path, look, I want to talk about my path real quick because it's kind of crazy how it happens. I didn't find out until I was 26 years old that this was something that I could do for a living. And I always felt like I jumped in this a little late, so I had a little catching up to do. So I worked extra hard to get to where I am and put everything I have into it, and doing it for the right reasons. And that's, for me, that's the main reason. That's one of the main reasons how I got to where I got, by working so hard and not wanting to fail at this. And my time in the Marines definitely attributed to that discipline and confidence and that work ethic that's essential in surviving a career like this. So definitely got to shout out the Marines for that. Yeah. To all the veterans that are here at school that feel like you guys have, I guess, a harder opportunity or a harder time to get to where you're gonna get, just know that the things that you went through in the military have prepared you flawlessly for this kind of stuff, because this is easy. The only thing you gotta do is work hard and do things for the right reasons. All right, and be a good person. Let's see what else I got on here. My wife, Buffy, I love you so much. You've pretty much enabled me to live a dream life. While I'm out doing all my stuff, you're just holding down the fort. She's my manager. She manages the work life, and she also makes sure there's toilet paper in the bathrooms at all times. the kinds that I like. And you know, our job is hard too. Like, we travel a lot. We have to sacrifice everything for this thing that we love and that we do. So, thank you for enabling me to do that, baby. And you gave me this little gem right here. Give me this. You gave me this little gem right here. She hasn't taken a nap in a long time, so she's tired. Caraco, who you saw on the screen, is one of the most talented guys I know. I saw Caraco once. I'm not going to name the artist in this session, but we walked into a room to work with this artist for the first time, and this artist had an engineer there, and he had his own setup and everything, and Cook was in there to vocal produce his session. I was there to engineer with him, and so he got a lot of resistance on the way he wanted to set things up. So what did Cook do? Not out of ego, but out of confidence and making his point, we walked out of the session and got some dinner. About an hour and a half later, he gets a text from the artists themselves. And they're like, yo, I need you back at the studio. So we came back and slayed it, and he's still with that artist today. So, I mean, things like that, when you see someone do something like that for the right reasons and it works out, that's like, hey, that's a check on me. A couple other people I want to thank. I'm going to make this short. But I got to thank Justin Bieber. So, like, as a 21-year-old man making an album, he gave me so many opportunities. Just one off the top is like, bless you, baby. So one off the top, when we were doing Purpose, I sent the first mix of What Do You Mean to one of the best mixers in the game, someone I respect greatly. And we got the mix back. The mix sounded great, but it sounded different from what Justin was used to hearing, and it kind of put him off a little bit. So he asked me at that point if I could mix as much as I can on his album. So I did, and that opportunity gave me a 4-year career. And it's now 2019. I've been mixing ever since. So for a young man to give an older employer or employee an opportunity like that, that goes a long way in my opinion. And he's a natural leader. So I'm gonna shout out Jeff Villanueva out there in the audience. He's the reason why I came back here to Full Sail to give back and to jump on that path. I didn't even know it was a thing. It's like one of those things you don't know until someone shows you or tells you. I need to be showed, and I need to make mistakes. But Jeff got me back here, and I just want to publicly say thank you for that. I'm like, John Phelps and Gary Jones for creating this wonderland. At the time, it's sad to say that at the time I didn't realize what I had. It was at my fingertips. I was just getting through this to go through the next phase of my life. And, you know, each year I come back, I see everybody in here, and I'm inspired by everybody in here. These Hall of Famers are super talented people. Bruce Swedien is here. This guy's made so many records, like, come on. This place is bubbling with energy, and I come back with my cup filled up, ready to go some more. Love inspiring these young cats. Who else? Hunter Manning always makes me smile when I see him and gives me really good hugs. Sebastian Chris, man, you're a legend out there. I respect you so much and everything you do for the community and who you are as a person, the way you've treated me. Thank you. Dylan Dresdo, who's not here right now. And like I said, thank you to the Hall of Famers for opening them books up. To the Full Sail staff that keeps spinning this wheel and making this thing effortless and easy for all of us out here, thank you. And to the students, to say you can't do anything is a lie. It's a lie to yourself. So as soon as you realize that and understand that you're here to be great and do whatever it is that you want to do, you can do anything you want, and you will do that once you realize your worth. All right? Thank you very much.
Please welcome current Full Sail University Media Communications student, Kat Vasquez.
Wow, from this incredible crowd to this incredible week, Hall of Fame is truly like no other event. My first Hall of Fame experience was last year, and I was quickly inspired by the production, the panels, and the environment of it all. As a media communications student, we are given the honor of working alongside Platinum, Full Sail's in-house creative agency, where I have had the pleasure of working on the social media team for the past 2 years. The first year, I was given the position of running the social media platform Snapchat. Through this, I was able to interact with other students while taking pictures for the Monarch Initiative and attending panels, which included every single Game of Thrones panel. This year, I was given the opportunity of actually leading the social media team, and I have thoroughly enjoyed the challenge. I should preface that along with Hall of Fame pre-production this past month, I've been juggling schoolwork, an internship, graduate school applications, job applications, interviews, and taking care of my dog. The only way that I got through it was with the incredible support of my team and classmates, which are like family to me. The collaboration from Hall of Fame that I have experienced in both years is one you only read about in books and magazines. We are told that this is the time that we make mistakes and that our team catches us when we do. My instructor, Shannon Gillette, let me know that before this all got started, that things were bound to look a little awkward, and they did. At first, I don't know how many times I changed the ADDYs, the banners, to the accounts just to make sure that it all fit with the style guide that Platinum had approved for us. But I am now a true believer in pivoting and failing forward. I coordinated schedules for 30+ students, managed t-shirt productions from design to delivery, delegated tasks, and scheduled more social media posts than I ever thought was possible of scheduling. And now, here I am speaking in front of a crowd of Hall of Famers, award winners, distinguished guests, and people that are just far more accomplished than me. Yet I keep asking myself, who's actually covering this for our Instagram feed right now? Leading up to this event and the week of Hall of Fame, students are able to practice and execute their superpower, which can be rare in a real-life setting. This event truly is like no other because it is for the dreamers, the ones who dared to dream and the ones who made that dream come true. And it is why I love Hall of Fame. Now let's meet our final inductee.
I had gone to a traditional college, which was Penn State. I remember wanting to get into graphic design, but they only accepted 9 people a year, and you had to have a portfolio to do that. And I didn't have any of those things. All through high school, I was drawing. I was constantly like being creative and doing stuff. But when I had gone to Penn State, like I think I kind of abandoned a lot of that stuff. But I still had the hunger, to just be creative and do something. I think at like 26 years old, I just packed up everything and came to Florida, and I don't know, started a new life, I suppose. When I started my class sessions, like I hadn't touched a computer in God, I don't know how long, The one thing I really liked about going to school here is that it wasn't about handing in the best looking thing. It was about like your work ethic. And if you like met your deadlines and you were like really into like the work itself, you were rewarded for that. Every free night I had, I would come home and practice my craft. And I would start actually by finding things that I didn't understand. So like I would see these amazing visual designs and I'd be like, how does someone do that? And so I would take it and try to recreate it. So I did that a lot. All of a sudden, like my muscle memory was like starting to make stuff. And I think the first time in my life, I was like, I can't believe I made that. I've had several people in my career that I think have helped me become who I am today. I've been working at USA Today and now at Capital One his name is Eamon Burke, and he has been one of the best managers that I've ever had. I look up to him so much because I don't know how he handles it all. He is a father of 2 kids. He's a husband. He is a senior manager. He is a professor. I have a cat, and that's exhausting. I don't know how he does all of this and remains so calm and collected and being like, things will work out. I want to be like that.
Some of the biggest things that stood out about Margaret at an early stage in her career, especially at USA Today, were more so around just the creativity level she could bring to her work. But in addition to that, the passion level she brought to her work. And I've seen that level of passion evolve over time. Initially when we first met Margaret, it was very much visual design oriented. her illustration skills, her UI skills, her ability to kind of bring in branding elements to the design work at USA Today. Through the time that we worked together at Capital One, where it evolved to being more centric around the user experience and the user's needs. Her ability to kind of have a really strong amount of empathy for our users and the customers of Capital One and what they go through on a day-to-day basis, Margaret could definitely relate to that.
I started working on this product called CreditWise, and this was huge for Capital One. And they were like, we're gonna make a free tool for everyone, and anyone can download it, and it doesn't matter if you're a customer or not. I think I remember my first day, and you do competitive research, and I had the moment of, I was like, I'm scared to check my credit score. And that spoke volumes to me. I downloaded another app, just to check my credit score. And I remember feeling, oh my gosh. And then it was like, well, what are other people feeling?
At Capital One, we all had to conduct our own user lab studies. And Margaret was in the room with the user. We were all behind a sort of two-way mirror watching the interaction. And we were learning about how customers view their credit scores or whatever it may be. And Margaret just had this really strong way to kind of connect with people in those interviews. Really having a deep interrelated conversation with someone she's never met before in her life. And it got the user so comfortable that we could learn a ton about their personal opinions. So Margaret had a really strong ability to kind of relate to people in that sense.
I have a personal mission to help people through tech. And how do I translate that? How do I make people feel like they're in control? I don't necessarily know where I'll be in 10 years, but I feel like that place that I'm going to be is probably a pretty special one.
Inducting Margaret Hague, please welcome the Creative Director of Product Design at The Washington Post, Amon Burke.
Hi there. Thanks for having me. I'm definitely an outsider to Full Sail, so this is amazing and epic to see this sort of event and be here for Margaret. So I'm really thankful for that. It is my honor to induct Margaret Hague into the Full Sail University Hall of Fame.
All right, this is crazy. I don't know how this is gonna go. I didn't prepare too much because I thought I would be too nervous, but the days leading up to this have proven otherwise because at many times I've feeling like I was gonna vomit. So, I don't know how many of you are familiar with a woman named Brené Brown, but she does, yeah, a few. She's done a bunch of talks, a TED Talk and now a Netflix special on vulnerability and how you find courage and all the root of all creativity is found in that vulnerability. So I think that's a thing that we all share, with one another is that we come back here and we're all completely, I don't know if naked's the right word, but we're emotionally open with each and every one of us. And I guess in that moment, I'm going to admit that I am absolutely terrified to be up here right now. I think one of the reasons that I wanted to do this, and I love working on things that are, it's behind the scenes. Please keep me out of the spotlight. And Full Sail's like, no, we're going to put you in it, real hard. And I'm like, all right, I guess we'll embrace it and we'll figure it out. This is a dream, a literal dream. I was on campus for the first Hall of Fame ever. I attended a talk with Jason Whitmore. I looked at him and I thought, I want to do that someday. And Leslie, it hasn't been 10 seconds. It's been at least 30, so you don't win. I'm absolute proof that you can want something and you can dream for it and it can come true. And that's both really exciting and both terrifying. I didn't get into this for the money. I didn't get into it to win that J.D. Power Award. I didn't get into it to build a platform from a few 100,000 users to tens of millions of users. I did it to connect. I come back here to connect. I work at a corporation with over 40,000 employees because I love connecting with people. I love forming deep, like honest, loving relationships with them. It makes me happy, like insanely happy. And I am so lucky. Anyone that I've met, anyone that I haven't met, all you students, like everyone in this audience, I am so honored to just be here and to meet you and be around you. And as any student who comes to my panels or talks knows I cry at least one point in them because it just means so much to me to be back here. And you know, I think a few times I say that it's great coming back here because like the passion in your eyes, I think we get lost in that and like a day to day. You know, when you're out there and you're in the world, it's like, ugh, sometimes, you know, sometimes I feel like, why am I doing this again? And then I come back here and I'm like, that's why, that passion in your eyes. And it's good coming back here and seeing what all of you are doing because I have to be better than you. Like, I can't let you be better than me. You keep me on my toes. I also got it into this, I guess. I'll share two tiny little stories with you. So when you're building an app, that stuff is, you know, it's just like building a game or like making a record or any of the other million things that we do here as creative people. There's a moment where you launch, you go to market, and you hit that button and it goes to the iOS store, or no, the App Store, the Google Play Store. And there's this moment where you wait because you know people have things to say. And we had a bit of stability issues when we first launched it. And I will share with you my favorite App Store review of my entire life. And it was that someone said, "This app crashes so much, I'm no longer insured by State Farm." Yeah, and we laughed. And we were like, yeah, it does. It sucks right now. You know, but we rallied and we fixed it and we failed. Like, we failed in real time and we continue to fail in real time. That's what I loved about working on that project. It was like working on a little startup within a huge corporation. We got to take chances and we got to work outside of the, you know, the boundaries that like a corporation normally puts on you. But recently, like, that thing has changed a little bit, and I left that team, you know, which was a hard decision for me because that thing was my baby. And I have no idea what's going to be next, but I'm really, really excited for it. Oh, thank you so much. So there's, I think, one more thing I want to share with you about this connection to humans and why, you know, what I do is really, really important. Credit rules everything in this country. You will go out there, and unless you're Jay-Z status, you aren't buying a house with cash. You're buying a house with a credit card, or, you know, like you're buying it with a loan. You're taking out a credit card to pay for vacation. You know, you're thinking about sending your kid to college. Credit will affect you for the rest of your life. And every time I come back here, I'm always like, gosh, I get to hang out with all these people. You know, they're working with like just the coolest stuff and like video games and musicians and sometimes I feel like, gosh, I'm in such presence of greatness. And then one day I was like, I think I'm pretty great too. You know? Thank you. Okay, just one more thing on the connection part. So there's a group that I'm on in Facebook, and it's called like Dreamcatchers, like Live Richer Daily or something. You should join it. It's awesome. It's people consistently searching to other people to get financial advice. Like, they don't come to a bank. They don't ask a teller like, how do I get better at credit scores, or where's the best place to get a car loan. They're asking each other, and they're teaching each other like how to do that stuff. And one day I'm scrolling through this group because I'm consistently obsessed with researching how people think about money. This woman had just, she entered what they call the 800 club, you know, which is like either 800 to 850 credit score. And part of the thing that she was so like excited about and telling everyone how she finally hit the 800 club, how she had been at a real rough time in her life, was a screenshot of something that I worked on. And that was, they talk about, you know, different moments when you feel like you've made it or you feel like you've done something. I got to be there for her in that moment. So yeah, thanks so much for clapping. It's a good break in between everything. And I would be silly not to say, like, you know, this whole thing talking about connection, that there's a ton of people who support me and are around me. And if there's anyone I miss, I'm deeply, deeply sorry. But I'm really nervous, and you know, it's happening. I want to thank the alumni department for like giving me a chance, inviting me back here, like getting me all into everything. Like, you guys are rock stars and you take care of me, and I love you so much. For every single person in this Hall of Fame staff, this doesn't happen without like an army, like a literal army. You know, there's people standing back here like communicating with a room that's like over there. And there's people driving us back and forth, and there's people making our travel plans, and there's people who make sure that we get like where we're supposed to go. That stuff is exhausting, and thank you so much for exhausting yourselves with us. To the entire team of Platinum Creative, you did not only be, you became people who like made me real uncomfortable by sneaking up behind me with a camera all the time. Thank you, Andy. I just want to thank you so much for giving me the eternal gift of success and youth. I will never forget this, and I will someday be able to show like my children, my grandchildren, and they might even be able to share it with theirs. This is a really, really big moment and an amazing honor. I want to thank Eric Rosenfeld for always just being awesome and eccentric and believing in me and having me here. Peter Satuyo for being first my teacher, then my boss, and then one of my friends. Peter Jervis for this week. You've been my rock, actually, for the past like 8 months. I don't even know, man. Thank you so much for doing this and taking me on. Miguel Vasquez for being the most passionate designer I've ever met in my entire life. You're insane. We laugh like we're 13-year-old kids, and that's my favorite part about you. Thank you so much for taking a chance on me. Thank you for letting me steal your mayorship of a gym on Foursquare. Thank you for connecting with me. Thank you for following my work, and thank you so much for giving me the chance to have an interview that completely changed my life. To my Gammy and my Pappy who are in the audience this evening, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being in my life. Thank you so much for just showing me an insane amount of unconditional love over my lifetime. I think I told someone this the other day. I'm 37 years old and we'll still go on vacation, and I'll get up and walk out into the living room and they go, "Hey, princess," and I'm like, That never gets old. It never will get old. You can keep doing it. Lisa, she's over in the other room. The woman, her and her team who did my hair, this whole shtick that's going on here. Thank you so much. I've never felt more beautiful in my entire life. To my new Hall of Fame family and my entire Full Sail family, that includes, students. I don't know, Hall of Fame, this is an interesting thing. I've been having just like awesome friendships and deep connections with the people that are already in the Hall of Fame that I already felt like I was a family member, It was kind of weird, it was like the more I came back here, the less important like the award became. I mean, I'll take it, obviously, but it became more about just hanging out with all these people and getting to know them more and like meeting new people every time I came down here and just watching people like crush it in their industries. You inspire me so much. It's ridiculous. Like I can't even, I'm gonna be so tired but so excited to be like go back to work and be like, la 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 la, let me tell you everything that happened this week and everyone I met. You're the best. To Eamon Burke, obviously, I feel like I said all the things I could say about you in that thing. I love you so, so, so much. Thank your wife for letting you come down here. You are an inspiration, and I cannot wait to work with you again. I said I would follow this man anywhere, and that is true. He is like the most amazing boss. He's the yin to my yang. I don't know, I think he said to me one day, Margaret, I will defend you until the day that they fire me. And that's a person you know you have to have on your side. To Nicole Demetric. There's only one word that describes you when I think about you, and that's soulmate. You're just a gem of a human being. You're strong, you're confident, you're so funny, you're beautiful, you want something, you get it, and being next to you in this life as my best friend, it's just truly a gift every day I have with you. And lastly, to my mother, who without her, none of this would be possible. But she insisted that I let you know those are her words and not mine. So, you raised me as a single mother from when I was 3 till I was 9, and I don't know like a better version of strength and love and life that someone could have, you know? And we've gone through a lot together, and anytime I fall, you say, get back up. Where would I be without that? I don't know, probably. You're the best mom. I love you so much. I am so I don't know if thankful is the right word. Deeply humbled and so lucky that you are my mother. You drive me absolutely insane. You know, you make me laugh, you make me angry, you make me happy. That's love, you know? Love is all the good things and love is all the bad things. And I don't know, talking about Nicole again, I don't know if all of you know this. Well, probably not, obviously. But she's a yoga teacher, and that's like one thing that we share together. It's like her love and her hobby. And I'd like to do something right now to close out this ceremony and this week and drive us into what's going to happen on this backlot and what's going to happen later this evening with the party. So if you would all humble me a little bit, and if you wouldn't mind closing your eyes. Okay, so we're going to take a deep breath in. Hold it for a second, and let it go. And in keeping your eyes closed, I want you to look within yourselves, and I want you to say to yourselves, thank you so much for being here this week. Thank you so much for giving your inspiration, your creative inspiration, your love, your light, your laughter to each and every single person that you encountered during this week. And one final thing, I just want you to know that the light in me sees and adores the light in you. Thank you.
How's that for inspiring? Good grief. We're nearing the end, my friends. We're about to wrap this thing up with one final chapter outside in the back lot. Jay Noble, our executive producer, said, Gary, no more stories. We're at time. I will be fired. I am going to tell you a 2-minute story. I promise you I'll keep it to 2 minutes. Dave and I had the pleasure of watching Timbaland. Dave mentioned that we dropped in and said hello to a panel discussion going on. I want to tell you this story because it does make a universal point, but it also elevates 3 people. Marcella and Andrew and Demo, 3 incredible producers and engineers, had worked with Timbaland in the past. So when I'm touring with Timbaland, when we're touring with him, we pass the window, one of Stella's oval windows, right? So you can see in the classrooms. We pass through, and we said, these are some guys in here doing a panel discussion. And Timbaland said, let's go in. I want to go in. I want to see those guys. He recognized them instantly, of course. He knew them, we worked with them. So we go in, and I said, Timbaland, you go in first. Surprised me. He says, no, you go. So I walk in, and I said, hey, guys, somebody's here to see you. So they're put, all 7 panelists are put off like Gary. We're in the middle of a panel discussion, for crying out loud. Timbaland then walks in, and suddenly they're happy, right? So it's like, you again, oh, Timbaland. So he walks in, and my observation is that all 3 of those people's faces, everybody else in the room too, but the 3 faces of the people that have worked with him were like, wow, he's here. Big deal? Yeah. Now, here's where the story changes. At the end, Timbaland pulled up a stool and did Q&A alongside of the 7 panelists, the 7 Hall of Fame members. Did Q&A with them for about 15 minutes till he had to go. And at the end, he stands up and he says, you think songwriters and record producers make you guys. You're the ones that make us. And he turned to these 3 Hall of Famers and he said, these 3 people right here, they taught me things. They helped me understand how to be a better producer. They elevated me and upped my game. Nice work, you guys. Nice work. And that is the universal truth is, Hall of Fame members, you are the stars. You are the celebrities. You're the people that raise everybody's game. You're the ones that quietly, many times, some of you are loud, quietly, most of the time, you make radical, creative decisions and you elevate every project, every title, everything around you. You are the celebrities. We salute you, every one of you guys. We salute you. Okay, I mentioned we have a special close outside, right? So we're going to migrate in just a couple of minutes. How many people, 50 weeks ago, Craig Daly, Jay Noble, you guys started working on this event tonight, 50 weeks ago. This whole week began to be brainstormed, put together. Who knows how many Full Sailors have worked on this? 40, 140, 340, 1,000. Can't name you all. Would you please join me, audience, in giving a round of applause to everybody that made this whole thing happen all week long. Woo! Amazing. Amazing. For my last act as president, before Jay Noble fires me, we're going to say goodbye to our streaming audience now before we move out to the outdoor stage for the closing ceremony. So let's all say goodbye, and a warm wave in the air to our streaming audience around the world. Thank you for joining us. We love having you with us. Good night. Okay, and now, stop me if I make a mistake, but now I am welcoming back Dave Franco.